We're gonna be talking about this crash right here. Let's see what happens here.
He's Mr. Sparks. I've never seen somebody throw this many sparks before.
Mr. Sparks. So that means he's scraping hard parts. Okay. And we're still on his ass to chase him. Instead of using our Cardo Pack Talk Bold or even the new Pack Talk Edge to tell him slow it down, right, Bloodhound, for 2 months. So if we're scraping hard parts on a sporty bike, a sport bike, I say sporty because there's a lot of bikes that aren't sport bikes that are sporty. What do you think we're doing? Write it in the comments, because we're going to talk about this video here. How far do you have to lean that bike to scrape hard parts? So it's a nice little group ride. Bunch of people here. Caught up to this person. So they're right behind a cruiser, which is probably going to make them go slow. Oh, we're starting to pass the cruiser. Let's see what happens. Are we going to pass the cruiser? There it is.
Making the pass on B3.
So, of course, when we could do power wheelie to show off and 129 photos. Okay. Ooh, scraping it. Scrapage. Low fuel. Gotta get some fuel, buddy.
You're scraping tag. Getting a little wild.
Ooh. All right, everybody, we're gonna be going over this MaxWrist close call / crash, because it's a close call for him, but it's a crash for the buddy that he's pushing to push past his limits. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're riding. He's calling this guy Sparks because he's scraping hard parts. Okay, we are in a big group ride up in the mountains. Oh, there is going to be the crash. Now, MaxWrist loves to do the editing and goes back in reverse and makes him get back on the bike so he can crash again for further footage. So we're going to go ahead and go down, hit our knees, scraping up our knees, and sliding across the ground. There is going to be the damage to the pants that he has. There's the damage to the bike. And we're going to go ahead and use this for footage. Make sure you turn around so that you can get the footage for your channel, because you've crashed too many times and don't have any more bones to break. Yes, I am talking a little bit of shit. Let's take a quick look at everybody. Let's go ahead and park. Remember, we are trying to remain calm and ensure our own safety here. So he's doing a decent job there. So he's walking wounded. Very good. Okay, we talked a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah.
Just slid out just for a second. That's what it caught. That's all it takes.
Sure, your bike's probably good.
I guarantee it's scratched out.
There's the damage to the jeans. Those look like normal jeans. I don't see any armor in. Watch out for the hard parts and hot parts. All right, so it's always nice that when your subscribers and viewers that come out to see you crash, and then you're just going to offer some simple advice about how to get up after a crash, because you've had so many of them. Anyways, here we go. What we do here is an after action review. We're trying to figure out what happened, how it happened, and how we can prevent it for ourselves. Okay, using other people's experiences to limit our own, because we don't want to crash to learn. We want to watch other people crash to learn, and thankfully MaxWrist allows us to do that. So what we're gonna do is go through here. Now this person is being pushed a little bit to past their limit, based off of the fact that we're in a big group ride with MaxWrist. Okay, when we're doing group rides with people, especially the people that we look up to, we try to be just like them. So when we're trying to be just like them, we start having an issue, because if we don't have the skill level as them, and they don't lower their skill level to match the lowest level that's in the group, then we have new riders trying to catch up and try to push past their limits, which is now becoming dangerous. But so now we have somebody pushing their limits, and then they're going to get into a position to crash. The goal of a quality leader in a group is to match the lowest skill level of that rider. And it's also a good quality of a leader to not take really beginners or those that don't have the skill level on very technical rides. Okay, if you want to do technical rides, you want to do some crazy riding, go to a track. But if you want to do it in the roads, that's all up to you. Don't take a new rider. So when we have something like this, we're in a big group ride and we don't have any organization, especially if mob rides, but especially with these kinds, is that people are just going to just do their own thing. Yeah, you ride your own ride. That's the goal. You have personal responsibility. But when you have an influence, you can influence people to buy brake reservoir warmers and holders, if you can influence people to buy this stuff, you can easily influence others to ride super fast and act like idiots, because that's what you're doing. Okay? Very careful with that. Yes, they need to take personal responsibility. So do you, though. So we're going through the mountains like this, and then we start to crash. Okay? So now we have an issue. What happened? What happened? What happened? We're only going 42. He's following him. He's pacing him. Look how far down he is. Look how far that rider is on the bike. Okay? I'm not going to pretend that I am the best rider in the world, and I'm honestly not the best rider on YouTube. I'm not the best rider in a handful of people that I do know, but I am damn well smart when it comes to riding. Okay, I'm situationally aware. I maintain just the fundamentals. I have full gear. I know how to rescue others, and I'm an educator. So when I see something like this, no, I understand. I'm not going to be racing through here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go a little bit slower than this. Body positioning, too much speed, trying to compensate by pushing that bike down. Slow it down or have proper riding technique. You got to do either or. You can't do this. So when we're pushing it this far, what's going to happen is that tire is going to lose traction. You're putting your bike tire to the absolute limits to where it's starting to lose traction, and all it takes is just a little bit of gravel, a little bit of a divot, a little bit of uneven road surface, all those things that we talk about in our MTC Rider Academy, which is only $4.99 the first month, and it's 3+ hours, plus you get a ton of stuff, basically for free. So what happens here is that he's going to go ahead and lose traction on that front tire and the rear tire at the same time, because we start to push it a little bit too far. And now we're going to start talking about mechanism of injury. We talked about kind of what happened, how it happened, the mindset beforehand, and now we're talking what's happening after the accident, because part of being a smart rider is rescuing other riders. So now we're going to talk about mechanism of injury. So what happens here is that right side fell down first, his right ankle, right knee, right hip, right elbow, right hand, the whole forearm catching up, and now we're going to have the head also at some point. And then we start to think about what kind of injuries to those body parts do we have and how can we help. We typically can only help when it comes to major bleeds and maybe keeping people warm, because you don't want them to get too cold with the shocky symptoms, okay? So for treatment for a lot of these things is to stop any external bleeding, lay the rider down, monitor any changes like them passing out, not breathing, learn how to rescue breathe, and to keep the rider warm. We have that in every single one of our rescue packs. We have a thermal blanket, a Mylar blanket. You might want to check it out. Plus a lot of bleeding control supplies. So he's going to start sliding across. Now MaxWrist is going to reverse time with the time stone once again, and then now we're going to get up through here. We're going to see what happens. Boom, immediate traction loss. Right ankle, right knee. Right knee gets a lot of impact in there. Now our palms over hands. Imagine not wearing gloves. Imagine not wearing gloves. Big issue. You're going to start ripping your palms apart. Thankfully he's got gloves. That's going to help him out. So let's take a quick look with a little bit of slow motion. Slow motion for me. All right, so there is the tearing of the pants. Now you have, when you have motorcycle pants, but even motorcycle jeans, you're going to have reinforcement right here. You're going to have reinforcement. You're going to have armor impact resistant CE rated armor, so that when you hit, it's going to absorb as much as it can, hopefully not transmit it to your knees, but right here we don't have any. So you can easily get road rash. See how simple that was just to tear it? Boom, that's torn off. Now we're going to just go and start tearing off the skin. It's that easy. You're going to tear off your skin the same way you tore off those pants. Make sure you wear full gear. And there's the bike. So part of being a smart rider is acquiring and using that personal protective equipment. Now we're at the point here. We just saw somebody crash. We're remaining calm. MaxWrist has been in this situation many times, so it's very easy for him to remain calm. But a lot of people, especially when they witness their first crash or a part of their first crash, they are not going to remain calm. So this is hopefully going to remind you to do that. So rescue, RESQ, rescue, remain calm. What you need to do is call 911 or tell someone to call 911, because those people are not going to call 911 unless they're told. Everyone's going to look around and say, well, I think somebody's going to call 911. I won't do it. Nobody will. Nothing happens. So call 911. Ensure your own safety. Just take a quick look at the road right here. We have road surface hazards like landslide, maybe, I don't know, a tree falling down. But the biggest thing here is going to be other vehicles. So we have that vehicle right there. So if we are not ensuring our own safety, we just do a U-turn right here. Boom, we got hit because we panicked. We went to brown stage, weren't paying attention. So we need to park off to the side, out of the harm's way, and stay off to the side of the road and walk towards the patient. If we run, imagine tripping and hitting our face into the ground and passing out, and we have a traumatic brain injury. So walk briskly, but walk, and grab yourself your rescue pack that you have in your backpack or in your saddlebag or whatever it is, and every one of them has a rescue card. I keep mine in my wallet, my rescue card, okay, just in case I need to hand it off to somebody. I memorized this, but just in case. So when we see that, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can see any major bleeds, but we're not there yet. We're not at the patient. So right now we just need to remain calm and ensure our own safety at this
That
point.
dude was riding so good.
Okay, so we're not doing U-turns yet. And there's the corner right there. We talk about that, like I said, in our rescue booklet, which comes with every single rescue pack. 100 feet, go around the corner and control traffic. It says right there, control traffic. This is a booklet that comes with every single pack. You can buy it separately, but this is basically the instruction manual for every single one of your packs. Give it out for free when you buy it. Control traffic over there to ensure your own safety. So now we're gonna get up to this point, Now we're gonna go ahead and park off to the side. Very good, ensure your own safety. You don't wanna get hit by anybody coming up behind you though. Very, very careful. Go ahead and park it, remain calm. Lots of people on scene. Are you the one with the most experience? Yes, you are, MaxWrist. You've had more crashes than everybody on this road combined. Go ahead and go back to get your rescue pack because you forgot it. Oh, let's make sure we're recording, everybody.
How are you, brother? You're a crazy rider.
I didn't notice that at first. Just take a quick look. So he's walking towards the patient. Just bear with me, everybody. He's walking towards the rider that crashed out of concern that this person's injured. Right? No. He needs to make sure it's recording. He needs to make sure it's recording. He's already about 10 paces towards the rider to check on him, has to walk back to make sure he's recording, and then says something. That tells you the mentality here. That tells you the mentality.
How are you, brother? You're a crazy rider, man. I called you Mr. Sparks in my video. I've never seen somebody lay that many sparks down before.
So right here, the fact that this person's talking, this is the rider that crashed, okay? He's standing up. That means his blood pressure's good. He's breathing because he's yelling out. It means his airway is intact and he's actually breathing appropriately. His blood pressure is up because he's not having massive internal external bleeding. It still can happen. It could be a delayed response because we can go into shock, which is what we talk about here, pale, cool, clammy skin. It's called being diaphoretic, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But his blood pressure is good. He's got volume in his veins and arteries, so it means he's got blood flow. He's got breathing. His airway is intact. His musculoskeletal system is working, so he's actually able to stand up. Think of it as scaffolding. So he has the bones intact. They're not collapsed on anything. His muscles are actually contracting and extending. He's got all that stuff. He's neurogenically aware, so he's actually able to move his legs and move his arms, so the nervous system is actually moving. So his spinal cord seems to be doing fine, but as a crash like this, you can still break pieces off of your bones, and then that can easily sever parts of your spinal cord. Remember what we used to use back in the day, and even now, you sharpen a piece of a bone that is incredibly sharp. You can sharpen it down to a molecule, and you can cut almost anything. So imagine a sharp piece of your bone getting broken into your body and just going to slip right onto your spinal cord, and then you are done. So that's why we always lay people down and leave them in the anatomical position, but we lay them on their back. Okay, we lay them on their back on supine position. We talk about that in our on YouTube, on the Motorcycle Training Concepts YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. Links in the description for that. So just looking at this person, you're gathering quite a bit. You gather his respiratory system, you gather what his musculoskeletal system looks like and how it's functioning. You're gathering what his his heart system. I'm starting to use big words here. I don't want to keep using those. And his neurogenic, his brain system and his spinal cord system are all doing pretty well. His nervous system's doing well. So far we're gathering quite a bit of information, which is a good sign that he's doing okay.
Yeah.
You could still have a traumatic brain injury, which is not good. It's where your brain is basically just hitting the inside of your skull, having concussion, penetrating trauma, bleeding on the brain, subarachnoid bleeding, which is what Tool Jesus had, which is what MaxWrist was a part of. You know, that's not good. It's very dangerous and deadly in long-term recovery. Now, when it comes to the person's leg, let's see if we can get a view of that. Because I know he's going to check it because he's going to feel that thermal transfer to his leg. D in hole.
His is worse.
Oh. I want to say that is skin.
His is worse from yesterday. Little scrape.
That is level 2 road rash. And now we just got demonetized. So thank you so much, YouTube. That's why we're moving a lot of our stuff off into the MTC Rider Academy and Basic Training e-course and the DDFM Crew Smart Rider membership. It's $4.99 the first month. That is level 2 road rash. Level 1 is, think of it as a terrible sunburn. Actually, that's level 3. Thermal damage versus friction damage here. Second degree burns. First degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree burns. This is a third degree burn where you're starting getting flesh. You're ripping off all of it, and that's going to be some muscle tissue. That is going to be capillary, maybe a little bit of venous bleeding. But that right there, immediately, not good. Not good. Make sure that you guys are wearing full gear because that's how quickly that happens. That needs to be controlled. We have in our rescue packs, we have bleeding control supplies, and we talk about how to do that here. We talk about how to, typically life-threatening bleeding, direct pressure would be something like that to stop the bleeding. Not good at all. That's gonna be very painful when he wants to take a shower.
Yeah,
and that's all the way up on his leg. That's gonna be a nasty scar. Okay. Thankfully, he's not doing too bad right now. He's able to walk, and it's just the skin. Could be the epidermis, subcutaneous, all that stuff. It could be all ripped up. Who knows? Make sure that we're not doing stuff like this. Not riding like this. So what can we learn? What can we learn from this crash? What can we learn from this crash? First and foremost, don't ride with MaxWrist. Secondly, when you're going through the corners, don't push your bike down super hard like that. Don't be smashing your hard parts of a sport bike into the ground. That means you're leaning the bike way too far. You're going to lose traction the moment you hit a little bit of pebbles, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of any other factor out there. The moment you give it a little bit too much throttle or too much brake, you're going to lose traction, especially in a corner like this. So keep that bike more upright. Learn some advanced riding techniques from anywhere on YouTube outside of MaxWrist. But you go to an advanced riding clinic for total control, go to the MSF Advanced Riding, go to the Yamaha Champion School, go to a track day, go to anywhere when you're going to learn proper body technique. Don't learn it from MaxWrist. Now, when we crash, make sure that you actually have protective gear, because if you don't, you're going to have issues with road rash, first, second, third, and fourth degree road rash like this. Okay, there's more up in there. You're going to rip everything apart. You're going to have scarring. Thankfully, nothing bad happened here. If it was on his hands and his feet, very bad. You're not going to be able to walk very well. You're not going to be able to work with your hands. Showering with this is very painful. Make sure you don't get it infected. You can have nastiness going on here. Now, after a crash like this, make sure you rescue a rider. You're able to stop major bleeds, especially with the trauma kits that we have. We have rescue packs here. But anything will really work. If you have anything sterile, that's even better. Make sure that if he's bleeding out, you keep it wrapped up and moist, okay? Skin does not heal well in a desert. It heals in a swamp. You want to keep your skin moist. That's why you're supposed to moisturize your skin, because it's constantly healing itself. Put lotion on your skin.